2022 is here now, and I'm so enjoying this new creative energy that I'm experiencing for this year. This is the second reflection of this series, thinking back on 2021, changing my traditional approach. Instead of a single video like when I started back in 2016, I'm doing bite-sized mini vids covering the year's highlights in chronological order, because that's the vibe I was in when I chose to do it this way. As I moved through another of my annual traditions, which was reviewing my journal entries, I decided that let's do the video reflection in bite size and go through the year just as it happened, as it unfolded. So the week between Christmas and New Year's Day is a time that I like to be quiet and cocooned a bit, cozy, and review my journal entries from the entire year, and then write one overall entry that gives my end of year reflection. I have found that it's such insight rather, where I connect the dots and I kind of see the messages from spirit and how my life went that year. It's a helpful spiritual practice to connect these dots in this way, because when you look back, as you know, with hindsight, and you look back, you have a bigger picture that you can see that you cannot see when you're in the weeds, so to speak, when you're in the middle of everything as it's happening. So if you do not journal, I encourage you to begin today. There are all kinds of ways to do it, and I've put a link to an introduction to one way of doing it in the description box. Find one that works for you and do it. I promise you, it will be so rewarding for you, especially if at the end of 2022 you go back and read your journal entries and see what kind of a wonderful perspective it'll give you. So, hello, I am Candi Dugas, and this channel focuses on what it means and what it's gonna take for Black Americans to be fully free. All the time, you'll find here inspiration and information on freedom, our holistic well-being, promotions of my plays and productions with, of course, freedom themes, collaborations with other freedom fighters, along with calls to liberate ourselves. If being fully free interests you, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you never miss any of our videos. Spring of 2021 blossomed rather beautifully with lots of hope and good feelings against the backdrop of the vaccine. My play, Wild and Free, won 2 awards, semifinalist in the Playwrights Foundation's Bay Area Playwrights Festival, and one of the recipients of Working Title Playwrights Ethel Wilson Lab. My lab is scheduled for March 2022, so if you haven't yet subscribed to my email list, please do so you can receive updates first on this project. A subscription link is in the description box. Then, the next thing that happened in the spring is that we launched a meaningfully helpful accountability campaign about the active, harmful racism and white supremacy in the United Methodist Church. You can visit this campaign on Instagram at UMCSoWhite, and I've also linked it in the description box. I am so very grateful for all of those who support this cause and who have contributed tangibly to spreading the word. All of the pro bono attorneys, all of my coaches, the journalists, HR professionals, and strategic marketing professionals who lent their expertise to strategy, approach, that kind of thing. The church folk who shared their care in ways that made sense for them. Your soul care community, Reverend Bernard Kimes, who participated in an interview with me, of my experience, and contributed their very meaningful and helpful insights for me, as well as others who may be experiencing racism and white supremacy in the workplace that contribute to toxic and hostile environments. Links to bits of those interviews, as well as the entire interview, are also in the description box. Dr. Leslie Griffin, who's been in this game for a while, writing about the problem of racism in churches, and links to some really good articles of hers are in the description box as well. Bradley Gerard, Madeline Kelly, and the entire team at Americans United for Separation of Church and State, who have also been in this game a while. They have provided and given me and my cause, my case, the kind of support that they can, and there may be some more information coming forward on that. A link to their website is in the box. Everyone who read my open letter, which is linked as well, who supported and shared on social media, all of those other Black clergy women who have been affected by this and have felt seen and heard by my sharing my story. And thank you to Reverend Tanya Pittman, who allowed me to share her story too on the Instagram page. Gratitude to everyone who signed the SCOTUS petition, gratitude as well to the Presidential Commission on the Supreme Court of the United States, who read my public comment and posted it. A link to that is below as well. And much gratitude to my denomination, so to speak. We're not really a denomination, but that helps locate it for most people. The Church Within a Church movement, who wrote a letter to the United Methodist Church demanding redress and in support of the fact that the situation that happened with me was unlawful and needs to be addressed, redressed, all of that. And none of everything that I've listed to this date still has elicited or prompted the church to respond officially as it should. And as I said, links to all of this are below. And then also in spring of last year, I put a down payment on a dream. One I'd been nurturing during the shelter-in-place portion of the pandemic, a down payment on a camper van with Scamper Van for an epic summer cross-country road trip. I reserved Scamper Van 4, I believe it was, for an adventure with a yet-to-be-adopted dog to experience what ended up being 5,131 miles, 8 states, and 16 cities and towns. An infinite, amazing, life-shifting experience for me and for the dog. There will be more about this trip later in this series. And in another series a bit later, in the weeks to come, focused on the beginning of living my digital nomad life, which this trip kicked off. In the intro video, you saw my mom heating up the dance floor. So our spring season of 2021 ended with a bang with the celebration of my cousin's wedding. I also had a magnificent time at Elise and Rob's celebration. It was divinely timed, just a perfect event for all of us, family and friends. And then later in the year, my cousins Josh and Emily also married. And while I was not able to attend that celebration, Josh's dad, Robert, was love enough to send me backstage photos and reception pics to help me feel a part of that. And so those are my spring highlights. If you'd like a video that talks more about anything that I've only mentioned here briefly, let me know in the comments. And remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications. My reflections on the rest of 2021, as well as a peek into 2022, are loading too. You don't want to miss them. They're coming. They're coming. If this video is helpful, interesting, intriguing to you, please like and share it. And most importantly, if our full freedom as Black people is important to you, and you want to be a part of making it happen, here's what you can do right now. Sign up to receive more information about my upcoming mini course, First Step to Free Yourself. How to do that is going to be in the description box. We mean it when we say free yourself. You do it, because only you can do it. It definitely ain't the current work of the Biden administration. And I've been thinking these last couple of weeks about how the hope of the inauguration has fizzled and what a great disappointment they are at the moment. Or it definitely isn't the current Congress, and 45 and his folk are definitely coming for the rest of what they want. So after you complete this mini course, First Step to Free Yourself, you will have a greater sense of freedom. And therefore, you're going to be operating from a greater inner strength to become fully free, inside and out, and able to handle whatever oppressive tactics come your way. Finally, in the description box are links to resources that you may find helpful. Take good care, and let's build freedom together for once and for all.